ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. What a different world this would be. Imagine if Adam would not have eaten that apple. We would be living totally different life. By the way, let me say something about the apple. I said the apple because most people think it was an apple. Our rabbis don't think it was an apple. Maybe it was, who knows? They are inclined maybe it was a fig, because after he eats from the prohibited fruit, the forbidden fruit, actually what he does is cover himself with leaves of a fig tree, so he was around a fig tree. Maybe the first fruit was a fig. The Torah doesn't say it was an apple. It just says the fruit of a certain tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So I say to you, imagine if Adam would not have eaten that. What kind of world would this be? Oh, it would be great. You know, wouldn't have to get up. There would be no weekends. There would be no Monday morning blues. You wouldn't have to go to work. You know, things would be tremendous. There would be no economic problems. There would be no lack of water. Everything was around there. You could always raise your hand and take a fruit and eat it. A lion, you wouldn't be afraid of it, because the lion and the lamb, they all used to live together. Idyllic world. Would have been tremendous. And it's all the fault of this Adam. Had he not eaten the fruit, we'd be forever happy and wouldn't have a care and worry in our lives. Yet I want to argue the opposite. I think we would be dead. We'd have no sentiments. You wouldn't know what happiness is. What do you mean you'd like it? You don't know what dislike is. How can you know if something is sweet? You have tasted something that is bitter. How do you know happiness? Because you know what lack of it is. How do you know what pain is? How do you know what feeling good is? He would have been really an unfeeling being. He wouldn't have been a human being the other way around. I always wondered, why did God put that tree in the Garden of Eden? The tree of knowledge of good and evil. If he didn't want Adam to eat it, don't put it there. But you know, God knows everything beforehand. God knew that Adam was going to eat of the apple. And if that is a problem for you against freedom of choice, well, God doesn't work in a time framework like we do. God sees time all at once. Past, present, future, everything is at once. You know, Einstein taught us that time is not really absolute. It belongs to the universe. God is beyond the universe. God is not bound by the idea of time. So why did God do it there? Why did he place it there? Maybe he wanted Adam to eat it. Why should Adam have eaten of the prohibited fruit? Can a fruit give you the ability of telling the difference between good and bad? That belongs really to magic, to illusions. That's a different world. That is not the world of the Bible. The world of the Bible is about emotions, about truth, not about fiction, about things that suddenly are not. You know what the greatest miracle is? The greatest miracle is that the sun rises every day. When Joshua said that the sun should stay in one place and the moon should stay in another place, that was an fault in nature, the other way around. Our rabbis even say that the last moment of creation, God created many of the things that we think are miracles. The donkey that spoke for Balaam was created on the sixth day, because a donkey is not supposed to speak. That was unnatural, against nature. The greatest miracle is that nature functions. The Bible is not a book of magic. Can eating a fruit suddenly give you knowledge? Is that a magic potion? What are we talking about? You know what I think? It's the fact that man disobeyed God. That is the reason that he learned what good and bad is. Because before he disobeyed, he did not know that he had the possibility of choosing Good and bad means that you can choose. You can elect to do something and do something else. Not that you are predestined, predetermined to do something. I think that really when God told man that with the sweat of his brow he's going to eat from now on, the earth will be difficult, that was a blessing really for Adam, because now he'd need ingenuity. How is he going to provide for water when there is no water? How is he going to make the earth produce more and more? Look at what mankind has developed. You know, there was a man by the name of Malthus. He thought that if we continue having more and more children, eventually there won't be enough food in the world. But that isn't so. Drop by drop, you can feed the earth, and it can produce more. We know how to do many things. Why is a mother so devoted to her child? Because childbirth is very difficult. To give birth to a new idea is very difficult. To give birth to a new human being is also very difficult. What sacrifices isn't a mother capable of doing for her infant? Those kids that inherit fortunes, some of them do well, but many of them don't know what to do with it. They never worked a day in their life. They don't know what it is to make a living. And on the contrary, the great fortunes that they inherit spoil their lives, and they no longer appreciate what they have. I think it's the people that take loans in order to finish their studies that appreciate that they have studied, they're better students. They know what it takes in order to produce a student, in order to transmit information. All the expenses that a university has to go through. Take a look around yourself. Look at the world that the man has created about himself. Look at the gardens that he has created. On the other hand, of course, there are wars, there are killings. Well, this is part of the giving birth. Giving birth to a better society is difficult, but I think that with the passage of time, each and every generation, in a sense, one rung above the generation prior to it. Look at longevity, how many years people live. Look at all the illnesses that have been conquered. I think that maybe having been expelled from the Garden of Eden was the grace of God. That was His benefit for humanity, enabling us to grow, to develop, and to become real human beings.